This is an exploration of language, and I wanted to talk about why I'm using the word dystopia on this channel because I think it can sound really dramatic and I think it can sound like I'm using the word to mean bad. And so, first off, I think it's the ultimate first world issue that we get to muse about what is a dystopia and what is not a dystopia. So I'm definitely not using it to mean bad because I'm very aware of the current horrible things that were going on in the world before the pandemic, and also the horrible things that have gone on in the world in history. So I'm not saying like this is the worst time my life is disrupted because there's not enough paper towels in the store. That's definitely not what I'm saying by using the word dystopia. But I love language. In addition to actual writing techniques that I give on this channel, I just love exploring language and phrases and words and our selection of those words and how we use language to make sense of the world and to express ourselves. So I got really interested in this idea of dystopia, and I will put a link in the description box below to a TED video that more thoroughly explains what a dystopia is. This is sort of what I extracted from it and my own point of view and why I wanted to bring it to the channel, because I didn't want to continue giving writing advice sort of in a bubble. I really want to honor the dramatic change happening in the world right now and bring that to what I have to offer with this channel. So a little bit about that TED video I just mentioned. So utopia and dystopia are really terms from fiction. And there's a fine line between a utopia and a dystopia. And that line occurs because in order to achieve a utopia, what rules have to be enforced? And how do you actually get people in a society to behave in a utopian way? A lot of the times you have to enforce rules and regulations, and maybe the people don't want to follow those rules and regulations. And then the enforcement of that starts looking like a dystopia. And so I'm just really interested in that concept, and I wanted to bring that angle into what I do. I think it's a really interesting thing to think about, and I just love asking questions. So that word dystopia is on this channel just to ask questions and be aware of what is going on in the world right now, and to question things as we just keep moving forward with our lives, because life keeps rolling on, whether we're living in a utopia or a dystopia or somewhere in between. And so as an example, like The Handmaid's Tale is a known work of fiction that is a dystopia. It's a dystopian world that story takes place in. But if you told me in January of 2020, imagine a world where you have to put on a mask to go outside, but you're only going outside to go to the grocery store because nothing else is open. And you're going to have to wait in line to get into the grocery store because there's a limited capacity of people that can be in there at a time. And then once you're in the grocery store, there might not be what you normally see there. And the lines are extra long because after everyone who checks out, the cashiers have to wipe down the belts and the payment processors and anything that people had just previously touched. That would sound like a made-up world to me. And of course, this is my experience because that's what's happening where I live. And I know it's not like that everywhere. But, and I know now, at the end of May when I'm publishing this video, people are out and about, and a lot of people aren't wearing masks at places that they're not required. And there is some returning to what life was like before the pandemic and shutdowns started. But again, I'm going from my experience. So if you told me about a world that looked like that in January of 2020, that would sound like a dystopia to me. That didn't sound like the world that I know. That sounds like a made up fiction story. So what I really want to raise an awareness here, and what I'm questioning, is where do we draw the line? If I'm being dramatic by using the word dystopia, well, what conditions do we have to live in for it to be okay to say that's a dystopia? And humans are so adaptable. While that would have sounded really strange to me, it would have sounded, that reality would have sounded like a fiction story to me in January of this year. Now it's normal. All of these things that can seem so strange when they're not actually happening become normalized. They become part of daily life because humans are so adaptable. And then we're like, oh no, that's okay. Something else would qualify as a dystopia. So I just like questioning things. And that is why I'm using the term on this channel. And I hope that it, just gives you an interest in language and why words exist, and just having that kind of, I know now I'm making it so light, like just wonder about things, even though it sounds so dramatic and heavy. And I think that's kind of the point of this video, that it's not all doom and gloom why I'm using the word dystopia. I just think it's a really interesting concept. So if you're not already subscribed to the Revision Fairy channel, click the red subscribe button below the video and tap the notification bell so that you get a note every time I publish a new video, which is looking like once a week from now on. And give this video a thumbs up if you're interested in language and exploring words and phrases and how they help us make sense of the world. I will talk to you soon. Bye.